Yes, this is I'm recording how to do this a Federation Commander ship definition. First, of course, you have to bring up the client. After you bring up the client, you don't have to log in. You can just click cancel, and that's fine. Then you go up to the Tools menu and select Fighter Commander Ship Definition Tool. Now, next thing you need one of the images which has been supplied either by myself, Paul Franz, or by Steve Cole. They're special play by email FedCom ship cards, i.e., a lot of the additional stuff is removed from the ship card, so that if people want to use it for play by email games, or they want, in this case, I use it for my ship definitions, so they can be added to the library and people can play, and the computer will recognize, i.e., the client will recognize what boxes of those images are actually boxes, and those are whether they're just background image and it doesn't know what it is. So after you load it up, the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to load up an image. Okay, let's bring up let's bring up this one, the Hydrogen OR ship survey ship. Now this ship most probably is going to be a 20 by 20 hexes, because actually if you look at it, you can go here and you'll see the mouse down the lower right hand corner, left hand corner is 244, 444, 444. Okay, you move it to another side of the box, it is all, again, it's 262. So if I go all the way over here, 264. For the past couple times when Steve Cole's been creating these images, now this size, they are 20 by 20, and the best thing is to use an offset of 4:4. So you have to go up here, go to grid size. Okay, you give it 20, 20, 4, 4, 4, 4, and click OK. Now, after you've done that, now you have to start defining the boxes. Now, ignore the fighters, because actually I need to remove these fighters. They shouldn't be here. So first thing usually I work on is the shields. So these are 24 shields, so it's going to be 12 by 2. So relatively easy. So go here. You have to click inside the box. In this case, it's going to be 12 boxes in the X direction, 2 boxes in the Y direction, and I'm hitting S key to switch, and then it's going to be shield number 1. You have to use a designator to say, okay, what shield is shield number 1, and doesn't have an arc. That was from a previous definition I did, where I needed to define the arc of the weapons. So click that, boom. Next, okay, let's go here, and that's going to be 5 versus 2. So 2 in the X direction, 5 in the Y, and this is going to be 6. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 down. So that's going to be 8. See, this is a little bit off. That's going to need to be adjusted. And the same thing here. Let's go for, because the edge detection of the boxes is not exact, because the boxes, even though they look black, they might not be black, which is the issue. Okay, and this is going to be 5. Okay, and again, this is going to another be 2 and 5 and 5. So there. Okay, scroll that up. Again, it's going to be 9, 2, and it's going to be 4. Okay. I'm not good. That's just 5, and it's going to be 2. That's going to be 8. Right, actually it's 2, so go straight. And this one is going to be 8, 3. Okay, after I define the shields, I usually like going for the internal boxes. The easiest way is to work on a specific type of box at a time. So you don't have to keep on selecting the different box type. And okay, you got battery, so that's gonna be 3 across, and let's select battery. Again, it's a little bit off. I'll correct that later. Okay, transporter, so that's 5. Transporter. 1, 2, I can then do a tractor. Sorry. Easy, just go like this. Again, not quite perfect. So there, and that's going to be 7 across. That's going to be a lab. So I'm going to do here, center hull. So let's do this. It's going to be 7 across. So let's click that. And it's going to be 3, 2. Finish that up. And 3. Impulse. Okay. Bridge. That's gonna be actually for these. I gotta check because I forget if I actually have a separate one. I think I might have a separate one. I gotta check. 2. I forget if I have a separate box for fighters. Yeah, fighter. And fighter. Because those were grayed out. Those are actually fighter boxes, is what they are. Okay. Now, I've got all those. Okay, I'm do center warp because that should be pretty simple. So that's going to be 5 and center warp. Center warp. Center warp. And then you finish off with the weapons. Okay, it's going to be 2. Here's where it gets a little interesting. Okay, it's phase 2 and 1, 2. Since there's 2 boxes up here, you can define the designator for each box, 1, 2, which means the first box is going to be 1, second box is going to be 2. So it makes it easy. Let's go, boom. Now, phaser G, it's going to be 1, and it's going to be phaser G, and that's going to be number 4. Another phaser. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I have to go back, but let's finish this one first, which is another phaser G. And that's going to be designator of 5, and that's going to be right side. I forgot to do here. So okay, let's go up here, click on it, and then you can fix it. So this one again, I forgot the arc. So the arc is FA. This one is FA. So those are all done. Oops, I forgot one more phaser 1, huh? Okay, let's scroll down to this one. This is going to be 360. You need to define 360. You have to define actually 360 for 360. Like that. Boom. Because otherwise it has no arc whatsoever. Which looks kind of funny. At the moment, the client doesn't have an ability to tell you what's in arc and what's not in arc, but that might come later. So it's always a good idea. Plus, when you bring up the list of weapons, that will show what is the arc. Okay, and finally, this should be, okay, 3. This is going to be interesting. Okay, special sensor, and that's going to be ABC. So A, comma B, comma C. no arc. Okay, now that we got all the boxes done, now we have to correct them. So go select mode. Now, one thing I would recommend you do is memorize these two keys. I go back and forth between normal and selection a lot. So I actually use the hotkeys is what I use. And then just go like this. And now the way I do shift arrows because I can move them using this. But it's, to me, what I do is I use the actual hotkeys, which are defined here. Shift arrow left, shift arrow right, shift up, shift down. And of course, these are for the Mac. So this is option, I think it's Alt. It's either Alt or Control, I forget which. Just look at the menu and you'll see what the hotkey is. So then you can easily adjust them. Now, one thing you can do also is for this one, I want to select all of them. All those. So I can just do this and voila. Looks beautiful. Get this one up, do a selection, and done. Oops, forgot this one. So let's adjust that a little bit, adjust that. Yeah, as I said, sometimes it's not perfect, but it will come into play. Oops, and of course, what I normally forget, I forgot it again, which is frame damage. Oops, I'm gonna switch. I did that via the hotkey in this case. Okay, it's gonna be 4 boxes, and that's gonna be frame damage. Frame damage. 4 across. Boom. Do not define these if you get a Hydran. Now, next thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to switch over to properties and define these properties. You know, especially important is ship type and race is critical because the race will actually tell the client what kind of side slip counters and turn mode counters you are using, because it will look for those in particularly. And in the case of the fighters, it will then look for the Hydran fighters. And low cost, you can ignore this kind of information. If you notice right here, this copyright notice, it says where it's from. Look it up. In the case some of them are actually from the communiques. This is from a communique 151. You can go to the I went to the StarfleetGames.com website, went to the master index. There's a line for communique. Click on communique, and then they have the whole collection of communiques. So you can find out this information, which is actually kind of important when it comes to how many Marines does this really have. DCR, what's the DCR value? What's the BPV? And source. This actually is not absolutely totally necessary, but the reason why I prefer having it is because then if there's an issue, we can go back to that source material and double check, what we did, was that wrong? And movement cost is obviously quite important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is definitely a movement cost of half. So that's 0.5. I'll look up after this video. I'll look up, the communique and get all this information here. I'm pretty sure this is size class 4, but I don't think real size class makes a difference in Federation Commander because it's not even on the ship cards. So, which means it doesn't matter. I put it in there just because I know what it is for the most part. So with that is how. Okay. Oh, I forgot one last thing, which is this is a Hydran override ship. That in the if you notice that I had the ship type as OR. That is the abbreviation. Like for heavy cruiser, it would be CA. In the case of like the Hydran Overlord, that's an OV. But the next thing is naming the ships correctly, the file names, because that will help me greatly when I add it to the library. I just do this, save, and then the Empire, then OR in this case, and in my case it's underscore squad because that's the squadron version. For the fleet version, it'd be underscore fleet. Okay, and then you save that, and when you're done, just email me any definitions that you have, and then I will add them to the library and have them available for everyone. Okay, so thank you for volunteering to help me out with this, and enjoy.